All right,
So you
ready?
should.
I've got a topic. Let's cheers to that, mate.
Cheers.
Cheers. Welcome
G'day,
again to
everybody.
Rambler and Chow.
How are we all doing today? Hope you're doing well. Make sure we're all subscribing, doing our thing. It's taking our Sundays off. We're not outside anymore.
Love it. Hey, mate, I wanted to ask you a question.
I'd love to answer a question, but you know what I'm like.
Here's my topic, right? Job interviews. Let's say you're going for a job interview, right? And let's say it's a blue collar job though, right? So let's say you're working in a mine or I don't know, somewhere like that, or a building company or something like that. Do you think you should go to that interview wearing a shirt and a tie, or do you think you should go to that interview wearing like a t-shirt with a collar that's neat?
Look, I don't think a tie is a necessary thing anymore. Definitely think a nice collared button-up shirt, that's what you're looking for. Good pants, I draw the line at questioning whether, when you go that blue collar, do you go your plain black pants or do you wear a nice pair of jeans? Obviously I've done the country side of things twice now, out in Roma and now down in South Australia.
I think I agree with you. I think wearing a tie to an interview is an old school, outdated thing to do,
Yeah. Look, if you know that there's a board that you're going to interview with and they are a much older generation, then it may play to your strengths to do that. But as a general thing, no, I don't think so. I do want to ask you. Oh, sorry.
I was going to say, what about the age gap, right? So, like, if you're 40 going for a job interview, are you expected to dress differently to, say, a 25-year-old going to a job interview?
See, I think it comes down to more who you're being interviewed by. If you're 40 and you do the whole suit and tie thing, but you're going for a job at a young, like more of a tech industry, and they're trying to sell to your youth, that's probably not the best thing to rock up in.
Exactly.
So there is a lot of variables, and at the end of the day, even if you were going to a tech thing that was quite young and techy, but it was owned by quite an old fuddy-duddy, you may shoot yourself in the foot by rocking up to that interview like that. Well, that's the person interviewing.
Dude, you've really nailed it there, actually. Let's say you're a young guy and you're going for a job interview at a .com business, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's an online .com business. Really, do they turn up wearing fancy clothing? Those guys, like half of them just turn up in t-shirts and jeans, carrying a backpack, don't they?
Hell, look, your construction industry, very similar. You might not rock up in your high vis like they are on the work site, but they're very. And the dilemmas of having a home office. Yeah, well, I will edit that, but problem being, I don't know where I was at. What was that?
I think we were saying that the young guys that go for a .com interview would wear like a t-shirt, jeans, and just carry a backpack. They're not going to get dressed up,
Yeah, and I was sort of leading into your construction industry. You wouldn't very well rock up to meet the owner of an asbestos company wearing a suit and tie. But at the same time, you wouldn't rock up in your casual t-shirt that you wear down to the local shop.
You want to wear like one of those, what do they call, like a polo shirt with a collar and something like that, or jeans, decent shoes. Yeah.
Something fresh, clean, doesn't have any stains all over it. That's always a good look. Actually, wearing a shirt to your job interview is good.
What about rehearsing the questions that you're going to get asked? Do you reckon you do that, or do you just fly by the seat of your pants?
Look, I don't generally rehearse questions that I'm going to be asked. I don't like getting tied up in the whole idea of what may happen when they could ask anything. They really could. At the end of the day, I like to look back at my previous history, make sure that's clear in my head and the various roles I've undertaken, so that any questions that do fly at you, you try and relate it back to something. But other than that,
I reckon half the time, if you just tell the truth, you'll get through it. Or even if you have to blend a little bit of fluffiness into the truth, you know, it'll get you through the interview all right. But you know, I feel sorry for people who are going to interviews these days, because it's definitely less clear for young people on what is expected of them in an interview, I think, these days.
Yeah, I agree. But if I can share one piece of wisdom, I think the best question or answer that I've ever heard for a question in an interview was just recently before I started looking for jobs again. Was the question was, when they're asked, you know, do you have any questions for us? Generally, you sit there and go, no, not really. Question to ask is, what does it look like to exceed the expectations of this role?
Oh,
Yeah, right. Is that not
shit,
brown
that's a
nosing
good
or what?
answer. Oh, whoosh. That's hot.
Yeah, because
That's red
generally
hot.
you go through what's expected in the role when you have an interview, generally. So what
Mate,
would it look like to them to
that
see
is,
it exceeded?
you should be teaching this shit.
Oh mate, I've got wisdom like you wouldn't believe.
Anyway, well, that ties up another day and another subject.
Yep.
Thank you very much for everyone, to our subscribers and listening
Yep.
in.
Make sure you're hitting subscribe down in the corner.
Like and leave some comments if you want us to talk about a subject. You can do that too.
Please hit us up. Can't wait to hear from you again, guys.
Cheers.
Ew. My bourbon got stuck on my mic then.
Mate, that is a sensational thing.